84a, the Mishnah. Okay. We have a principle nobody argues, that metalta di yasel mishtamti, that the movables of the heirs are not bound, are not leaned to the debts of the father. Okay? That's the discussion over here. So the ksuba does not collect from metaltlin. Correct? Only from fixed property. So we'll see in a moment. But that's only if the movables are in the possessions of the heirs. What about if the possessions are elsewhere? Let's say it's a debt that hadn't been paid, and you want to go take the debt from that debtor that was owed to the person, to the one who had to pay the ksuba, to the one who died. Does the woman have a right to collect the debt from there? Does the creditor have a right to collect the debt from that debtor? That's the discussion. So Reb Kiva says no. Even though it's not physically in their possession, they have no right. It belongs to the heirs. You only collect from fixed properties. That's Reb Kiva. Reb Tarfon says no. It's only the movable that's in the possession of the heir. But if it's not in the possession of the heir, the woman, the wife, could collect the ksuba from there, and the creditor could collect his debt from there. That's the discussion in the Mishnah. And the whole discussion of seizing, that's only according to Reb Tarfon. Seizing of property. According to Reb Kiva, there's no such thing as seizing. Can't seize property. Once the man dies, everything is locked in to the Yorshim. The heirs, they inherit. You can't take anything from them. Let's see the Mishnah. What? What do you say? No, you can't seize. You seize. It's theirs. Misha mes v'niach isho balchov. The Yorshim, person dies. He has his wife who has to be paid the ksuba. He has a creditor who hasn't been paid the debt. And he has Yorshim, he has heirs. Voyelo pikodon o milve biyad acherim. He has a pikodon, he gave an item for safekeeping, a shomer has it. Or he has a milve, he has a what? A debt that has to, a debtor that has to pay his debt. Reb Tarfon says that you give the one who has the pikodon, should give it to the one who's weakest. The weakest. The wife, she doesn't have much to collect from. The creditor can't collect from the taltlin. Right? So you give it of the weaker. Reb Kiva Omeno, Eim Rachmedin. There's no such thing as Rahman, because the weaker, it's irrelevant. We have a principle. Metaltlin are not leaned to what? To debts. Elinosnu Yorshim. You give it to the Yorshim. Why? Shekun Tzrichin Shvua. Because even when it's in the hands of the Shomer, or in the debtor hasn't paid, before you collect your ksuba, before you collect your debt, you have to swear that you haven't yet collected yet. So therefore, even when it's so-called not physically in the hands of the Yorshim, they have more relevance to it than these people have. Because they have to first swear before. He left, the man died, the harvest was harvested, it's on the field. Whoever seizes it has the right to seize it. What happens if the wife seized more than she should have? So there's an excess. And the creditor seized more than the debt. Hamoser. So the Reb Tarfon, you give it to the other. So if it's the creditor, he gives it to the woman. If it's the woman, she gives it to the creditor. Reb Kiva says no, Eim Rachmedin. There's no such thing as Rachmanis. You give it all. You give the excess to the Yorshim. Shekulan tzrichin shuas for the same reason, because the wife or the creditor, they have to swear. When a Yorshim tzrichin shuas, and Morris ask a question: what are we talking about? The excess, even the principal. You have no right to take anything. So he's only discussing the excess because he's only responding to Reb Tarfon. He disagrees the whole thing. You have no right to seize. Period. Once the man dies, it belongs to the Yorshim. You can't take the Yorshims; they're assets. So he's only discussing the excess. He's responding to Reb Tarfon's words. Reb Tarfon says, what do you do with the excess? You give it to the other one who's in a weak position. He says, no, you give it to the Yorshim. Just as you give that to the Yorshim, give everything to the Yorshim. Meaning you have no right to seize. So Mar asks, what do we have to talk about two cases? We speak about the item that's given for safekeeping by a shomer, and the debt which is owed to the father. You need both cases. I'd say the reason why Reb Tarfon holds that you have a right to collect that because what? Because the money that's owed, it doesn't exist. It's a debt. The item that say that's why Reb Tarfon holds you could collect from that. But the because which the item belongs to the deceased, which they inherited that. I'd say he agrees with Reb Kiva that the woman cannot collect from the Bikoden and the creditor cannot collect because they already inherited that. And if I only had the case of Bikoden, what I would say, Reb Kiva. That's why Reb Kiva is arguing because it exists. It's an item that exists. But in the case of Milveh, where it doesn't exist, there's no cash that it's owned by the Yorshim. It's purely a debt. Maybe you would concur with Reb Tarfon that the woman has a right to collect the ksuba from there, and the creditor has a right to collect his debt from there. Therefore, I need both cases. That Rabbi Kiva argues in both cases. Okay? My lokosha. What does it mean? You give it to the weaker of the two. Who's the weaker? The one who has the weakest proof. Rabbi Yochanan l'ksubas isha mishum cheno. You give it to ksubas isha mecheno. What's the reason why? Why do you give it to ksubas isha? Okay, ksubas isha. So let's say you have a question. You have the creditor, and you have the woman. Who takes priority to collect? The woman. Why? If a woman has a hard time collecting ksub, you know what happens? She's not remarrying. You know, men need women to marry. As much as the Gemara said earlier, Tav Meis of Tandu, a woman who wants to find a mate, but if she's going to be abused and be left abandoned financially, she's not getting married. So we have to treat her well, that she should have an interest in marrying a man. So therefore, let's say you only have enough to cover her ksuba or the debtor or the creditor. Who do you give it to? You give it to her. You give it to the weaker of the two. Mishum chena, she should have chen. Men should have chen, should be attractive to her. She should have an interest in marrying. Ketanoi. This discussion over here, koshel doesn't mean the weaker of the two. Rashi says, let's say his document is at a later time. Meaning, let's say he has a document. There's a creditor, he has a document. The lien properties he can't collect from because the husband already sold off the lien properties before he borrowed the money. See, really, he's in a bad spot. The ksuba could go after the lien properties. The creditor can't. So therefore, if you have only enough movables for the creditor, the ksuba, you give it to the creditor. Because the wife could go after the lien properties. Because when they originally got married, the lien properties are lien to what? To the ksuba. You following? But according to the other ones, but it's chena. Chena means no. We want to make it easy. You know what it means to go after lien properties. It's a whole court case. You have to go through all legal channels till you get it back. So we want to make it easy for the wife. So even though the creditor is going to be left not being paid, doesn't make a difference. Chena is an overriding factor. Okay? Charm. That men should be attractive to the woman. Ksubasisha mishum chena. Hiniach peris tlushin. Right? It says, what happens if the husband died, they were harvested fruit, crops. So Reb Tarfon says you seize. If she seizes too much, goes to the other one. Reb Kiva says no. What's left over goes to the Yorshim, right? So I ask a question. Reb Kiva, Ma'ir Yemosa Kulin Ami the Yorshim. What do you mean the excess goes to the Yorshim? You never had a right to seize. So Moshe says no Chanami. They never had a right to seize. So why does he only talk about the excess in addition to the ksuba? I did Reb Tarfon Moser. Since Reb Tarfon spoke about the excess beyond the ksuba, beyond the debt. Tony Unamimos, but he holds, Reb Kiva holds, you'd have no right to seize. Because the moment the man dies, who's the heir? The Yorshim are the ones who inherit. Finished.
So he's just talking theory.
Not theory. Not theory. He's only using the terminology, he says. Right. According to, that's not theory. It's not theory.
What is it?
What you're saying, even according to what you say, what's extra goes. Right. But I disagree with the whole discussion. They never had a right to seize, period. Is that theory? It's not theory.
No, it's not.
Norman has to be kept awake. He needs the caffeine. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the Gemara says, Reb Kiva, Tfisla, Mahanya Klal, Sarashi, you mean Reb Kiva holds there's no such thing as the wife, she can't seize property. or the creditor can't seize property. That's who Rashi learns. Amar Rava Rav Nachman Fushatovs Michayim. Meaning, let's say she would seize property. Let's say she already seized the property before the husband dies, and now she's in possession of that property. And now the husband dies. Does she have a right to? Let's say she took metaltlin, right? She siphoned off, let's say, something, and she's holding on to before the man died. That means before the heirs even came into the picture. Does she have a right to keep that? Reb Kiva holds she has a right to keep that, because that's pre-death. Once the man dies, the heirs inherit immediately. So whether they physically have it or don't, it's theirs. But if she already took possession before, and she took possession for the ksuba, right? Or the creditor took possession, so where is this? Okay? And that's what Rav Nachman, we'll see in a moment. That's what Rav Nachman from his Rebbe, Shetovs Michaim. The wife or the creditor had to seize it when the husband was still alive. Now, Reb Tarfon says you could seize the property, right? Or if they're metaltlin, right? Now, let's see the pikodin. Where is the pikodin now? Or we say you could seize. It says the fruits. Where are the fruits located? The produce. Rabbi Shmuel Dami Tavaya Vuchit Sipurim Nochem Rishus Arabi. You hear this? Now, what's the halacha? No one is important. Let's say you're off. If you want to take possession of something in a public domain, true public domain, a main thoroughfare, and you want to, let's say, you pull it to yourself. It's called Mashicha. You pull it, let's say, within your Dalan Amos, within your 4 cubits. It's meaningless, right? The whole concept of acquisition within Dalan is a rabbinic acquisition. Why? Because could it be you pulled it into your domain even rabbinically? It's a main thoroughfare. The domain you pulled it into, that's everybody's domain. So that can't be identified as your domain, even rabbinically. What about if it's off the beaten track? Rashi says it's called a simta, off the beaten track. People, they negotiate business off to the side. That area they're not infringing on the usage of the public. Because people stand to the side and they do their things. That area, rabbinically, if you want to acquire something, you could acquire. So therefore, let's say the fruits would be lying there, the produce there. Since that's the location you could acquire, so then the Yorshim, they already acquired it. No, then you can't seize it. Because then you're taking it from the Yorshim. Here? They have to be in public domain. But if it would be in the Simto, then they cannot seize it. Rabbi Yochanan Shlok says, even according to Reb Tarfon, it's a Simto. Since factually they didn't take possession, right? If it would be in their chotzer, in their courtyard, or in their field that they inherit, there's no question you can't take it, because they already acquired it. Don't daini ket Reb Tarfon. You hear this? There was a dayan who ruled like Reb Tarfon that you could seize property. Yeah? You could seize. And the creditor could seize. This is according to Reb Tarfon. So the Gemara says, there was a dayan, he ruled like Reb Tarfon. Rish Loka says he actually forced them to give back the money. Give back the money to the Yorshim. A dayan ruled like Reb Tarfon that the woman could keep the money, the movable, to collect the ksuba. Yeah? Ahadri Rish Lokish Luvde Binayu. Rish Lokish, he retracted, he overturned the ruling and made him give back the money. Amalei Reb Yochanan, Osisa Kishel Torah. So Rabbi Yochanan said to him, Divrei Reb Tarfon, Rabbi Kiva, meaning, why did you make him give it back? When the Chachamim said that you have no right to collect from the metalton of the Yisomim, of the heirs, Reb Kiva's position. You treated Reb Kiva like his position is a Torah position. It's a question all rabbinically. What did the rabbi say? I mean, if it's a Torah law, of course, the Torah law, you can't go against it if the halach. He would deal on a rabbinic level. He says, that you made him give it back. Once it was given, because there's a question like this. Once the Bezdin rules, if you make them retract their ruling, you know something, you make a mockery of the court. So if it's Doraisa, you have no choice. But over here, he says, is Reb Kiva's position Doraisa? That's what he said. Amle Reb Kiva, Asis Kshel Torah. Reb Yochanan, you're dealing Reb Kiva's position like it's a Torah law. Leibo Kamifli, what's the machlokis? The Mar Sova Tor B'Dvar Mishna Choser. Reish Lakish is of the opinion that since it's blatantly clear that we rule like Rabbi Kiva, something that's on the books, we overturn that ruling. It's a mistaken ruling, you overturn it. That even though it's something which is known, once the court rules, even though it's a mistake, you don't retract, you don't overturn that ruling. Gemara says, "Lo, that's not the argument. That's not the Machlokas Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. Kuli alma tova dvar mishta choser." Everybody agrees that if something is explicit clearly, that's the halacha, and the court makes a mistake, you retract. It's overturned. Reb Tarfon was the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. So therefore we rule like Reb Akiva if he's arguing with a colleague, one-to-one. But here he's arguing with his Rebbe. Reb Tarfon's his Rebbe. So if that's the case, the ruling, so therefore that's what the Dayan held. But Reish Lakish said, halacha afil mirabo. That when we say we rule like Reb Akiva, whenever he argues with a single individual, it's not only a colleague, even his Rebbe. So if that's the case, it's a mistake. Everybody agrees we rule like Reb Akiva, that's only when he's arguing with a contemporary. Now what is Rebbe? What's the Reb Yochanan is of the opinion that Reb Tarfon was the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. He was what? They were colleagues. There's a thing, even if you study from somebody to a degree, but you're not his real rabbi. You know what I mean? You're not his rabbi. They're basically, it's called like Talmud Chover. He's a student there, but they're colleagues. And Rabbi Akiva. So Reb Yochanan held he was the Rebbe. So that's the case. You don't therefore you rule like Reb Tarfon. Reish Lakish says no, he's not the Rebbe. They're basically colleagues. So therefore you overturn it. Everybody agrees they were colleagues. Reb Yochanan is of the opinion, Reish Lakish, that we rule like Rabbi Akiva. So if the ruling is that, you leave it that way. You have to overturn it. Matin means that it's preferable to rule like Rabbi Akiva, but if not, it's okay. Reb Tarfon's okay. That's Rabbi Yochanan. So if it's okay, you don't overturn it. But if you learn, no, we rule like Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva's position is an ironclad position, then you overturn it. There was a Dayan who ruled. No. There was a Dayan. No, that was a separate argument. That they were arguing in Reb Tarfon. That was in Reb Tarfon. No, now we're dealing with something else. A Dayan ruled like Reb Tarfon. No. It had to only according to Reb Tarfon you permitted to seize. Wherever it is, whether it's Rosh Hashanah. According to Reb Akiva, you can't seize ever, not even from Rosh Hashanah. Even a public domain you can't seize according to Rabbi Akiva. No, that's according to Reb Tarfon. Reb Tarfon says that the wife or the creditor could seize if the Yerushim didn't take possession yet. Reb Akiva says it's what? No. They could only seize if the Yerushim did not take possession yet. So what's called not taking possession? It was lying in public domain, or even a simta. But that discusses only if you rule like Reb Tarfon. Reb Akiva says it's irrelevant where it lies. You can never. The moment the father dies, the assets are transferred immediately to the children. So you can't seize ever. Okay.
But that's not the argument.
No, now this Dayan ruled like Reb Tarfon. So Reb Lakish reacted to it. He said, but we don't rule like Reb Tarfon. We rule like Rabbi Akiva. So the whole thing's mistaken. Okay. I'll give you an example. I'm saying joking, right? The rabbi says one way, and Howard disagrees. So, is it a question? Okay. Krevi to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan's relative. Tofis Poro, the Yasmi Misimto. You this? He seized a cow, so the cow was metaltlin, of the Yisomim from a Simta. The Simta, according to Rabbi Yochanan, Simta also, you could seize, according to Reb Tarfon. Oskam to Rabbi Yochanan. So they came for Rabbi Yochanan. Was it a valid seizure? Okay? Omalhu Shapita Fastua. So they said, no, what you did was proper. It was okay. You could take it. But who's the one who see his relative? It was Rabbi Yochanan's relative. Osla Kami to Rabbi Shimon. Ben Lakish, they came before Reish Lakish. Omalu Zilo Hadru. Yeah, he says, no, you got to give back the cow. You have no right to seize him because how did Reish Lakish rule? Rish Lakish rules like Rabbi Akiva, right? Reb Yochanan ruled like Reb Tarfon. Rish Lakish rules like Reb Akiva. So he says you got to give back the cow. Like he said before, with the Dain ruled one way, so you got to overturn the ruling. Also, the coming to Rabbi Yochanan. So they came before Rabbi Yochanan and says, you hear what your student is saying, Rish Lakish? He says, you ruled, we could keep it. He says, we got to give it back. Amado Ma'aseh Shekenegdi Chol. He says, what am I supposed to do? He's a tough opponent. You know, I don't want to fight with him. Rish Lakish says that way. Do what he wants, right? It's an interesting response. What? Rabbi Yochanan said about Rish Lakish. They came before Rabbi Yochanan who ruled that they could keep it. So they came to complain. Rish Lakish says, I have to get back. He said, what am I supposed to do? I can't fight with the man. Is there a commentary on that? You can't fight with him. I can't argue with him. Okay. Ahu Bakra, the Yasmin. He was a person, he was Bakra the Yasmin. He was a cattleman. Yeah, what does he say? Yeah, okay. No, that's coming up soon. We'll see in a moment. There was this Bakra. Bakra, who was a shepherd, is used. The term shepherd is used by a person who takes care of flocks of sheep. Bakra is a person, a cattleman who takes care of herds, but the animals belong to someone else, right? And in English, no. He's actually what a shepherd is. Bakra is the man who takes care of cattle rather than sheep. Okay, who Bakra the Yasmi. This person took care of the cattle that belonged to Yisomim. Same story. So we're talking about Tautling. The Tafsi Turamine Balchov. You hear this? Creditor came and seized an ox for his debt. Oma Michaim Tafistan Lake. You hear this? So the one who seizes, he says, I seized it even before the father died. So we said earlier, Rebbe Kiva agrees that the seizure is before the man dies, and then subsequently he dies, the creditor is able to retain it. So he claims he seized it before the man died. 1 second. The cattleman says, no, he seized it afterwards. Means, so if you rule like Rabbi Akiva, he never had a right to seize it. Correct? Osla Kami to Rav Nachman. So he came for Rav Nachman, because Rav Nachman was the one who said that if it's seized when he's still alive, you're able to keep it. 1 second. Amalei Istoch Sadi the Tapsake. He said to the cattle, to the so-called the shepherd, do you have witnesses that he even grabbed it? Because the one who has the cow, the ox, he says, you know something, I don't know what you're talking about. He has a migu. Right? Believe me that I seized it when it was alive, when the man was alive, because I could say I never seized it. See, Reb Yochanan, do you have witnesses that he seized it? Omar le lav, he says, I have no witnesses. Omar le, so Reb Nachman says to the Bakra, to the shepherd who's working for the Somim, Migu di yochel mema lokuachu biyodi yochel nami chaim tafisno. Like, since the one who has them say, he says, I could have bought it. He says, I bought it from you. Right? I bought it from you. So as he could say, I bought it from you, he says, believe me, I seized it when he was alive, and therefore I have a right to keep it, because I could have said, I paid for it. I bought it. 1 second. Somewhere says, meaning possession. Normally, if a person, let's say, owns something which doesn't walk by itself, like you have a jacket. The jacket was yours yesterday. I have it today, and I say I bought it from you. I'm believed. Why? Because being in your possession is an indication that you're not a thief. What about an animal that could have walked into your domain? Could have walked on his own. I didn't have to do an overt act of stealing. Could have walked. Just because it's in your possession is not an indication. Possession is not ownership. So it says we're dealing with an animal. So just because you have it, you can't say it's not an indication you bought it, right? It's not an indication you bought it. So if that's the case, if you go after Murray Kama, the one who originally owned it, who is the chef, is the Yisomim. So you're not believed. You don't have a migu. Believe me, I seized it when he was long because I said I bought it, but you're not believed to say you bought it, because why you believe to say you bought something? Because the person is not doing an act of stealing. But when you deal with an animal, you don't have to do an act of stealing. Because the animal can walk on its own. It's able to wander into your property. So if that's the case, how did Rav Nachman say it? Shiny Torah de Mesira the road. The answer is no. When we're dealing with an ox, this ox is under the supervision of cattlemen, these animals don't roam on their own. A person has his own sheep, they roam in the neighborhood. You got chickens, they roam in the neighborhood. When it's under the supervision of a professional cattleman, these animals don't roam. So how did it end up by him? The answer is he bought it. So he has a migu. Believe me, I seized the ox when the father was alive, because if I wanted to just relieve myself of all problems, I could have said, I bought it from you. You sold me the ox. It's good. It's a complicated Howard. Okay? As they say, easy sailing. The Veinusiyah. Tofis Amsa Diasmi. Besimta. You know what happened? The house of the Nasi, they went and they seized a maidservant that belonged to Yisomim for their debt. And it was in a simta. The maidservant was in a simta. We said earlier, according to some, so if you rule like Rabbi Akiva, what's the halacha? You have no right to seize. And if you hold like Rav and Shmuel, simta also you have no right to seize. Right? It's only according to Rabbi Yochanan you have a right to seize. According to Rabbi Tarfon.
So it's not what she is, or whether she's immovable or
No, she is immovable.
I mean,
Amsa is immovable.
they're not questioning.
It is immovable. But he seized it. Yosef Rabavo, Rab Chanina Bar Popi, Rab Yitzchak Nafcho. Yeah. So Rabavo was there, Rab Chanina Bar Popi, Rab Yitzchak Nafcho. Yosef Rab Abba Agubayu. And Rab Abba was before there. Omar Luhu, Omar Le Shabbat Fastua. So they said, Omar Omru, they said, it's a valid seizure. It's a valid seizure. That's what they said. The three of them said it's a valid seizure. But who was the one who seized it? The family of the prince, the Nasi. Yeah. Omalu Rababa. So Rababa says to them, Bishum de Benisianinu Machnafisale. Yeah, this. Because it's the family of the Nasi, what are you trying to flatter them? To tell them they did the right thing? Maybe it's not the right thing. You see clearly. It's not so simple we rule like Reb Tarfon. According to Reb Tarfon, it may be a good seizure. But if you rule like Rabbi Akiva, when do you have to seize it? When the father's still alive. And here he seized it, it belonged to the Yisomim. So how do you say so simply, what you did is correct? It's not so simple, it's correct. You're trying to flatter the house of the Nasi. No, it's an incident. It's an incident, what happened. We keep referring back to Reish Lakish's disagreement with Rabbi Yochanan. Right. It's another application of what we said before. Okay? Listen to this story. Yemer bar Choshu. Yemer was a man. Yemer, the son of Choshu. Right? Havimaski bezuze be'ogavra. Somebody owed him money. He was a creditor of a certain person. Shochiv v'shavik arvo. He died and he left over a boat. No? What's it called? For 79th Street in the marina over there. He left a boat, one of those things that float on the Hudson. Okay? Shavik arvo. Amalei l'shluchei. He said to his agent, Zil Tapsek. Nelek. He says, go seize it. The creditor, the Yemer Choshe, says to a person, his shliach, seize the boat for the money that I'm owed. Ozil Tapsua. Tapsek. When he seized it. Okay? So if the boat is out in the water, it's not a problem. According to Reb Tarfon, because it's Rosh Hashanah. Right? It's according to Rosh Hashanah. Okay? He didn't seize it from the marina. If it would be the marina belongs to the Yisomim. But let's say it would be in the middle of just in the river. Right? So it's like Rosh Hashanah. We said earlier, everybody agrees that it's the public area. The marina is not public. The marina, the Yisomim, they rent it. So that's his private domain. There's no question you can't seize it. But let's say it'd be out in like... Not only goes immediately, and they took possession. Even Reb Tarfon agrees there, because they're in possession of it. You can't, once they're in possession, you can't take it away from them. But let's say it would be in the middle of the river, right? Like on 17, a boat basin. It's just floating in the water, right? He seized it from there. Then, according to Reb Tarfon, it wouldn't be a problem, correct? It's a valid seizure, because it's public domain. Okay? Wait 1 sec, we're not finished yet. Now we have a principle. What happens if a person, you want to seize yourself was one thing. What about if you make an agent to seize on your behalf? That's called tos v'achol makshchav l'cheirim. Let's say there are other debt creditors besides yourself, and you want to seize. You cannot employ the principle of shlichus, of agency, where it's at the cost to the detriment to others. Because let's say you have one creditor, one debtor, he has 10 creditors. He has $100 to pay. So we say, first man, best man first. Finished. Whoever seizes first. What about if one of them says, I'll appoint an agent, he'll seize on my behalf? The laws of agency doesn't work there. Because agency cannot work where it's at the expense of somebody else. So we'll see in the two other creditors besides this Yemer Bar Choshu. So Yemer Bar Choshu says, seize the boat. But we'll see in a moment. So what happened? He seized it. Omer Reb Yochanan. So the Gemara says, one second. Omru leg. So, yep, Rav Papa and Rav Huna Breder Reb Yeshua, they met this Yemer Bar Choshu. He says, what did you do? You seized property where it was a detriment to others. There were other creditors. Yeah? It's not a valid seizure. Your agent, his seizure. If you would have seized it, is one thing. But your agent, who's he representing? He's representing you. It doesn't work. Because, he says, Tafsuinu. You hear this? So they themselves were the other creditors. These two people, Rav Popper and Rav Hun Brei B'Shua, they were the other two creditors. So by you having this guy, you did us out. Okay, so it's a detriment to us. So what happened? Rav Popper Mimlach Meluche, Rav Hun Brei B'Shua, Mosach Lo Ba'ashla. You know what happened? The two of them started a fight over it. Rav Popper got in, he started to row it with the oars. Rav Hun Brei B'Shua put a rope around it, he was pulling it. They were pulling in both directions. Yeah, because because whoever would seize it, it would be his. Okay? Mar Omar, Anokanino Le Lakula. One says, look, I already took possession of the whole boat. The one who got into the boat was rowing it. Mar Omar, Anokanino Lakula. He says, no, when I put the rope around, pulled it, I acquired it all. Pogbu Rab Pinchas Barami. So Rab Pinchas Barami meets them. Amalu Rabbi Shmuel Dami Tavayo. Vushtzgurim Munochem Rishas Arabim. So the question is, where is the boat? When they're fighting over Rav Popper, where are they fighting over? Where is the boat located now? Is it in the middle of the river, or it's like on the edge, which is the equivalent of a marina, which is like a simta? Rabbi Shmuel says it's only if it's in Rosh Hashanah. But let's say it's off to the side. Then you can't seize it.
Right,
it belongs to the Yorshim.
Right.
Okay? So he said to him, Amadu, Rabbi Shmuel Dami which Shum Munochem Rosh Hashanah. So over here, it's not in Rosh Hashanah. It's on the side. It's by the dock. By the dock already. So what are you fighting? The Yorshim already took possession. You have no right to it. He says, no, when we seized it, we're fighting over it. It's in the middle. Meaning from where the current is the strongest. That's the center of the river. So the center of the river, that's the equivalent of Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, we still have the right to make the seizure. Yeah? Could you imagine? Reb Chaim Kanevsky and Reb Steinman. They're both present. They're fighting over a boat. One gets and starts rowing the oars, and the other one's pulling with a rope. Okay, that's this. Rav Papa and Rav Hun Brei Yeshua. Also, Kami to Rava. So they came before Rava. Rava was older than they were. He was the greater one. Amalu Kaki Chivri. He says, you little white geese. He referred to them as white geese. Mishalchi Glima Dinchi. Hochi. He says, is that the way you strip a person? It's like he's trying to strip away the Yisom's garment. You want to strip him away. You have no right to the boat, period. Omer Rav Nachman, Rav Nachman already says that the only time that you have a right, that's only if you seized it when the man was alive. The property you seized already belongs to the Yisomim. And since we rule like Rabbi Akiva, you have no right to take it, period. So regardless whether you seized it from the marina, from the dock, or in the center, you have no right to it, period. You refer to them as white geese. It's a story. You know, Rabbi Yitzchak Chanan, inspector, he was known as the Kovner Rav. He was the posek. He was the ruler, the decider of the generation. This is in the late 1800s. So, Rabbi Zalman Meltzer, Rabbi Zalman Meltzer was Rabbi Aaron Kotler's father-in-law, and Rav Reuven Bengis, they learned at the same time in Volozhin, in Europe, Volozhin. And they had a disagreement in halacha, and they were arguing. They figured, we'll bring it before Rabbi Yitzchak Chanan. He'll decide who's right, me or you. They were young. They were in the 20s, early 30s. Rabbi Yitzchak Chanan already was in the 70s. He was the leading decider of the whole generation. He was the expert. Similar to this with Rava. They came before Rava. And he listens to the argument, both sides, and he smiles at both of them. Says he both wrong. He says, children. You missed the point. You refer to them as children. In Yiddish, you say kinder. My children. Missed the point. Same with Rava. Kaki, right? You're white geese, chivri. You understand? You missed the boat. We don't rule like Reb Tarfon, we're Rabbi Akiva. That's the case. You got to give it back. There's nothing to talk about. It's like you have a species, and they're arguing whether shechita is valid or not. So the rabbi says it's not even a kosher species. What are you talking about? You're talking about whether shechita is a valid shechita or not. Okay. Avimi b'dreid Rebavo, Havimaski zuzi bechuzoi. Avimi, the son of Rebavo, Havimaski, yeah, he owed money to Bechuzoi. He was the debtor. Okay, Avimi, the son of Rebavo, owed money to Bechuzoi. Shadrinu biyat choma breidu Rabba baravu. Yeah, so he sent the money. He gave the money to the shliach. The debtor was sent his money to pay to the Bechuzoi. And who was his shliach? His agent was Choma, the son of Rabba Ravu. Okay? Oza Parinu. So he went, took the cash, and he paid. You hear this? He paid the creditor. Listen to the story. Some people, when you shake their hand, you have to count your fingers afterwards. If you have all your fingers in place. Howard. Okay, he's waiting for. Okay. Amalu Havali Shtora. So they were creditors. So they had a document, a loan document. So after he pays, says, give me back the document. Because otherwise you're going to collect again. Amalu Sitroidinu. He says, no. What you paid now was a debt, was an undocumented loan. That covers a loan that was another loan. Now you're going to pay the other loan. You're this. You see, these people, they had no proof that other money was owed to them. So he says, now when you're paying that money, that's for another loan. So we're not giving back the document. Now now you're going to pay the second debt. This is what the Bechuzoi said. Yeah? See what the Rebavo? What's going on over here? I only gave the money on the condition you give me the document. All of a sudden you're coming up, tell me there's another debt here that has to be paid. Omale isloch sadit paratinu. So Rebavo says to the agent who gave him the money, he said, do you have proof that you paid him? You hear the story. Did you have proof that you gave him the money? Omale lo. Nobody was there. Just me and the creditor. Omale migidichol loma lo yidvor miolam michol nami lemem sitroininu. You just have a migu. They could say you never gave us the money. So believe me that there's another debt, because look, if we want to be dishonest, we could have said you never gave me the money. It wasn't witnessed. The transfer of funds wasn't witnessed. So they could say, something. They could say you never paid us. So if you never paid us, we have the document. So believe us that we're honest, and there was another debt. Because if we would have want to be really dishonest, we just could have just rebuffed and said, something. You never gave us any money. Yeah? That's a regular migu. Okay? Okay, so therefore he says it's valid, and therefore they keep the money, and they don't have to give back the document. And the creditor, the debtor, has to pay again. Has to pay the second loan. Second time. Now the question is, the shliach, is he delinquent and irresponsible what he did? Because he should have maybe asked for the document, then give the money. Right? If you would ask for the document, give me the document, I'll give you the money. Simultaneously. As I give you money, I want the document. He didn't do it. He paid the document, and then they had him against the wall. They said, something, the money you paid is to pay off the old debt. Now you pay the new debt. And you have no choice. Right? So, but if you would act, so the question, maybe he's liable. He acted irresponsibly. The shliach acted, therefore he has to reimburse the one who sent him with the money. Right? Regarding to pay damages, what's the status of the shliach? Does the agent have to reimburse the debtor for the money that he gave up? Okay? Omer Ravashi Chazinon. It depends. If the instruction to the shliach was, take the document, then pay the money. If that was the instruction. Mishalim, he has to pay because he didn't follow instructions. In what context were you my shliach? To follow my instructions. He didn't follow the instructions because he first gave the money and then took the document. It says, first take the document, then give the money. What he did, he did the other way. And therefore the problem happened. But what about if he would have said, Hav Zuzi v'shtoko shtori, lo mishalim? But if he was to give the money and then take the document, so you can't blame him. Because he was following instructions. He says, pay the people the money, and then you ask for the document. Now they're holding you up, then it's my fault. You can't blame the shliach, correct? Howard, you with me?
Yeah.
But what Rav Ashi says, it makes sense, right?
Right.
If he didn't follow instructions, it's understood he has to pay, the shliach. But if he followed instructions, he doesn't have to pay. The Gemara says no. Velohi, it's incorrect. Ben kach mishalim. Whether he told him to give the money and then take the document, vice versa, either way, the shliach has to pay. Why? Because we say with certainty, when I sent you to pay the debt, I sent you, it should be beneficial to me. Not that you should create a detriment to me. Because he didn't ask for the document first, when he said to him, give the money, take the document. I mean, what about if he would have done it the other way? Would if the one who sent it would have been opposed to it? The answer is definitely not. So therefore, the way you should have understood, you said, I only sent you, you should do good for me. The fact you created a problem, due to you not understanding how to deal, I forfeited my money. Because they took the money, and now they're demanding a new payment. Therefore, the shliach has to pay in either case. Whatever the instruction, because he says, I only sent you to be beneficial to me, not to cause me a detriment, to cause me damage. Okay? No, maybe the second loan may have been greater. Yeah, whatever it was. Doesn't make a difference. But they have a migu. The lender says, I could have denied you ever gave it. There was nobody there to witness the giving over of the money. If there would have been somebody who was giving over the money, yeah, the shlich, when he gave the money to this creditor, there was nobody. That's the first question Rav Nachman asked him. Was anybody present? He says, no. He says, then you're out of luck. You're out of the money because the man has a migu. Believe them that there was another loan, because if they would have been dishonest, they could say, you never gave us the money.
But there was no witness on the second loan either.
I mean, on the loan that they claimed there was. You don't need it, but the migu, you have the migu. Migu means, believe me that I'm honest, I'm not dishonest, because I really wanted to be dishonest. I just could have said, you never gave me anything. Because there was no witness there at the time of the transfer of the money. You follow me? I'll give you an example. Let's say you're my creditor, and you have between the two of us. I give you the money, and you're dishonest. There was nobody. Afterwards, you don't want to give me the document back. You go to the rabbi, say, I gave him the money. The man doesn't want to give it. The man says, I don't know what he's talking about. He never gave me the money. You have a cheskes kashrus. The man's out his money. That's exactly what happened. When the shliach gave the money to the creditor, there was nobody witnessed the transfer of the funds, except the creditor says, I did receive it. But when I received it, that was for an undocumented loan. Now I'm retaining the document because that's another loan. So he said, but maybe you're lying. There's no proof. He says, I do have proof. Because if I would want to be dishonest, I could have kept the money and just tell you, you know something, I never received the money. If I would have said I'd never received the money and I have the original document, could I collect it? Could I collect? Of course I could collect. I have a loan document. I have the loan document. That means you owe me the money. I collect. Right? And that's exactly what happened over here. So what the shliach should have said, either had witnesses there when he gave the money, or ask for the document and then give the money. Well, to destroy that, he'll give it back to the debtor to destroy it.
And that's even if there's no proof that the second loan was.
Even though he has a migu. Migu means it's a mechanism. What he could have said proves that he's honest. Right, correct. Yeah, there was a woman, she had a portfolio full of documents. Documents, they were worth money. Also, Yorshim Kotabilei, Mino. So these documents, this is the woman, let's say, she took it, okay? It was not possession. These documents are worth money. They're financial documents. So the Yorshim come after the father, say, give us back, give us, what you have is our father's. Yeah, she says, I took possession of these documents when your father was alive. So we said, even Rabbi Kiva agrees that if you seize it before he dies, then you could collect the ksuba from those documents. Also the commentary of Nach, but in fact, they came to her after the father died. So maybe she seized it after the father died, right? Same question. If she seized it afterwards, it's meaningless. But she claims she seized it before. Omalo isloch sadi tavua minoch michayim v'lo yavi neleg. Wait, he asked her, do you have witnesses that you came and you asked him for the ksuba when he was still alive? And what? And he did not give it to you, and therefore you took it. I mean, why should a woman seize the property? Because she was concerned that she may not get paid. She'll have a problem with the kids afterwards. There aren't enough. She doesn't want to go run after, let's say, lien properties that were sold off. So do you have witnesses? You went and you asked your husband for the ksuba when he was alive, and he ignored you. So if she would have witnesses, then what? That would be a basis to say that's why she seized the property when he was alive. Omra lo. She says, no, I have no witnesses. I have no witnesses. So therefore, that's what we conclude. So when did you actually seize it? After he died? So the seizure that you have, it means nothing. It means nothing. She has no migu. She has no migu. So Rashi says, terrific. Let's say the husband gave it to her originally as just for safekeeping. Not that she should have it. So she's like a shomi pikod. She's like a custodian. But let's say she went and she asked the husband to be paid, and he didn't pay her. Then we say, if you read, that means even though originally it was given to you as a shomer, but now because you're concerned, because you asked for the ksuba, now you seized it. You're not giving it up. That's where Rashi explains it. No. He originally gave it as a regular shomer. Shomi pikodin. No, but she claims that she seized it because she was concerned before he died. She seized it as payment. That's what she says. So he says, no. Do you have proof? If you would have asked your husband to be paid, so then it makes sense that when you have it now, you seized it as payment. But if you never ever asked your husband, you have no proof you asked the husband, so just as it came to you as a shomer, you're still a shomer. So a shomer, when he has something, who does it belong to? It belongs to the heirs. Okay? The rabbi, there was a woman, the court obligated to swear. Let's say a woman is about to be miktsas. Partial admission. So what's the halacha? She has to swear. But let's say she's a dishonest person. Let's say she's a Gemara says in Shavuos, who swears? The claimant swears. Right? You take the shvu off the one who right? And you put it on the other one. So listen to the story. The Rava. It was the bezdin of Rava. Now, Rava's wife, her name was, they referred to her as Basra of Chisda. Her father was Rav Chisda. She was the daughter of Chisda. Okay? Omrle Basra of Chisda. So Rava's wife says to him, Yedanaba the Chashud Ashua. So Rava's wife says to him, I know this woman, she's suspect, she lies in court. She'll lie. There's no point in giving her a shua. She's lied in the past, she'll lie again. Afchu Rava the shua ashigenegdo. So Rava inverted the shua and put it on the one who was making the claim that he should swear, and if he swears, you collect. Zibnin have Yasve Kami Rav Papa Ravad Bar Masto. And there was a time who was sitting before Rava, Rav Papa, and Ravad Bar Masto. I say Ushtora Gabe. And a document presents itself before Rava. Listen to the story. Omle Rav Papa. Rav Papa, who's there in Bezdin, says to Rava, Yadana Be Shtora Prihu. The document that they're presenting in your court, it's already been paid. Yeah, it's been paid. No, Rav Papa is saying this but he's a single witness. He's an Eirechot. But he's saying this to Rava, therefore that document, you have no right to collect with that document. 1 second. But again, he's an innocent bystander, Rav Papa. He's standing by the sidelines. Omalei, Ika Inish Achrina, Badei Demar. Do you have somebody else to testify what you're saying? If you have two witnesses. Omalei Lo, he says no. Omalei, Abagavdika Mar, even though you're saying what you're saying, Erechod Lav Klomu, you're a single witness, we just ignore you. Omalei Ravad Bar Master, Velo Yerav Popo, Kabasar of Chista, what should be worse than your wife? When your wife originally said the woman was dishonest, you took her word for it. Basar of Chista, he says, Basar of Chista, Kimli Begavor. He's my wife, I trust her. No, because I know what she tells me. I know she has credibility. Mar lo kimli begavek. I don't know you well enough that you have that level of credibility to believe you that the document is no good. This Rava speaking to Rav Papa. Rav Papa wasn't, but still, in terms of knowing the degree, Omer Rav Papa Ashta Omer Mar kimli begavek milsik says. So what he's saying? Whether you see what we're saying, if I would really know you well enough, then your word would have value. No. So Kimli Mills could go on Abba Mori, break, like Abba Mori, breed, like Abba his son, the Kimli Begave. So you mean to say, Karana Shtora Apumeg, Karana Sokatai. You mean to say you'll even destroy the document? How do you have a right to? Before it's a question, the oath is only being inverted. But to tear up a document, whoever is meaning document will not be teared up. But we will not allow the document to be used to collect until you give me proof to validate the document. That's what he meant. We won't continue.